and make it more and more real, okay? What colour would it be if it was real?
Say black.
This terrifying thing, it's black. Okay, look at it and make it real. Feel that terror. Can you feel it for me? It's a serious thing, this. Okay, I'm going to hand it to you. Okay. Is that different?
Yeah, it is different.
Okay. All right, thank you. Sit yourself back down. Thanks very much. Did you see the difference? Good, give me a round of applause. Did you see the difference in Dimitri's reaction to those two things? Yeah? He smiled openly with the first thing, said it, made him feel good, and yet the second thing, he actually bent away from it, and it was a different feeling. Come on, just my empty hands. There's nothing in my hands. Look, nothing there. Absolutely nothing there. Where's the rationality in that? That's not rational behaviour, is it? To react in that way, to feel that whatever my empty hands can make somebody feel happy, or they can make somebody feel fear. They're just my empty hands. There's nothing there.
Yes, but he was playing along with you.
Oh yes, but he felt...
He was agreeing to the social contract.
You're absolutely right. That's exactly what he was doing. And those feelings were real. They were real for you, weren't they? You felt different, yeah?
I felt different.
And yet, that's not rational behaviour. Now, the important point here is that human beings are not, on the whole, rational beings. Human beings are emotional beings. When we make decisions, we don't make decisions based on facts and research and knowledge. On the whole, we make decisions based on how we feel. I mean, here's an example from my own life, just from a few weeks ago. Because, you know, I'm quite keen on healthy living and about you know, having good diet and nutrition and taking moderate exercise, things of that kind. I'm very careful with my children not to feed them too many sweets. Yeah, in fact, I prefer not to give them any at all, frankly. But I had a good day a couple of weeks ago because I had a lottery win. It wasn't a lot of money, but hey, it put me in a good mood for the day. So when my son says, "Can I have some Haribo?" I hate Haribo because it's virtually pure sugar. That's the antithesis of everything that I stand for. "Can I have some Haribo, Dad?" "Yeah, okay, so yeah, today, go on, you can have a packet." Oh, why did I do that? Where's the rationality in that? Did the Haribo formulation change? Was there suddenly lots of fresh fruit in there that wasn't in there before? Well, no, of course there wasn't. It's just still the same old sugary nonsense. But because I felt differently, I was in a good mood, suddenly the decision changed. Suddenly the answer was yes, when the rational person would have stuck with the no because it's not good for you. Okay, let me ask you, has anybody in the room had one of the croissants? Okay, now, do you guys realise that actually croissants are probably not the best way to feed yourself if you want to stay healthy and have a longer and healthier life?
You didn't offer us carrots or apples.
Indeed, but
it wasn't much choice.
the alternative was not to eat anything at all, which is what the other people in the room did. And the reason that you have the croissant, of course, is because you're emotional people. We all are. We're all emotional human beings. And we don't you pretend you haven't had one. Look at this packet was full a few minutes ago. Look at this. It's full. No, seriously, guys, the point is that even amongst our community here, people are emotional beings rather than rational beings. And that's really important because if you want to persuade somebody of a point of view, it's important that you connect at an emotional level. It's not enough just to make rational arguments and say, look, here's all the evidence, here are the facts, here are the trends, here's what's going to happen tomorrow. What you have to do is to find a way of connecting with people and make sure that the message you're delivering and what you're trying to achieve is aligned with the connection that you've made with people. Yeah. So, you know, the example I gave you earlier from my local constituency was about the hospital. Yeah. So people really feel passionate about that, and so by representing them and by speaking on their behalf, by speaking how they are feeling, that creates that connection. And it's allowed me, because I for a time became a governor of the local hospitals trust, and I'm also the town's official spokesman on health. I sit on the scrutiny committee for health issues. That's given me the opportunity to talk to a lot of people about the sorts of things that might happen in the future that we perceive. People who are making the decisions on the ground about how hospitals should be funded and run in the local area, about what the priorities should be, about whether the hospital's trust should apply for research status so that it can carry out research. It is all about connecting with people and about making sure that your message matches how people are feeling, that you create that emotional connection. And it's really important we focus on that. It's not just about rational argument, it's not just about facts and figures, it's got to be emotional.
Darren, the thing is, Obama was very good. I mean, there's the thing about pan-narrans, that we're not Homo sapien but more pan-narrans, the storytelling chimp, that people connect better with stories than they do with facts, figures set dryly. And Obama was very good in that in terms of electioneering and getting himself elected by, he did the stories, the dishwasher in LA, you know, the little people, all these people, stories who could do it. The only problem I can see, and it's been part of the lashback, is that it's true that people initially make decisions based on emotions, but later on there can be a real lashback when they start sitting down and starting running the numbers. I have a gadget problem. I think a lot of people who know me well enough know I have a distinct gadget problem. I have a tendency towards seeing the thing go, I must have it. And the number of gadgets that I have sold secondhand on eBay after discovering that, after the initial, oh, it's wonderful, discovering all the thing lashback, and 9 times out of 10 I've never bought a gadget from that company again. Simple as that. Yes. It's just, no, you've promised far too much and delivered far too little when I looked closely at it.
Yeah. So I think what that tells us is that you have to have both the facts and figures and a plausible vision, and you also, in order to sell that vision, have to have the stories and create the emotional connection. Yeah, it's a combination of both. Sure, Adam?
When you mentioned allowing your son to buy those sweets, what I immediately thought is that you might have made an ad hoc, unconscious, emotional judgment that perhaps your son had been unhappy recently, so you allowed him to get the sweets or something else.
Yeah, well, I guess that's always possible. I mean, who knows? This is the thing. How do we know what's on somebody's mind when they make a decision? It's really hard. You know, in fact, we had a joke. I was with Sarah early this morning, and I've been drunk quite a lot of coffee this morning, and mouth's got a bit claggy, so I went into Boots to buy a bottle of mouthwash. Came out with a bottle of mouthwash, and on the bus outside was an advertisement for exactly the bottle of mouthwash I just bought. Now, why did I buy that particular bottle of mouthwash? Is it because I saw the advertisement on the way in subconsciously and then chose it? I mean, there were 24 different varieties, but I picked the one that was on the bus right outside Boots. Who knows why people make decisions? Maybe it was something to do with that advert. Maybe that advert was completely irrelevant. It's a really difficult question to answer.
Darren Brown is the master of that, isn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Suggestion.
He cues around which seem to impact what decisions people make. People think they're making free decisions, but they're being corralled by these cues.
Indeed, and of course, people who work in marketing know about how this works. Do we have anybody here that works in marketing? Or, yeah, sort of? Well, what is it you do in marketing?
Well, more analysing how people react to emails that they get sent.
Right, and what is there anything you could tell us about how people react to emails? If somebody was putting an email together, what would you say is the most important thing for them to do?
No, it's hard to say. I mean, no, I don't really have too much insight into it, really.
Does any of what we've been saying about human beings being emotional have any resonance in?
Of course, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, you can send an email out with one phrase at the top, and it will get 100 clicks, and you'll send it out with a slightly different phrase, and it will get no clicks.
Yeah, and would you say it's quite hard to predict as well, which one's going to work?
It's really hard to predict, yeah, and it is a case of sort of trial and error all the time.
Yeah. Cool,
but
good.
it can make all the world of difference, just one level.
So what do? You sort of try one on a small set, see what works and what doesn't before you expand it out? Is that?
Yeah,
is that the approach?
I deal with a lot of big companies, so they sort of make the decisions on what that is, but they do definitely find that.
Yeah. Okay.
They'll try them 1 week and then they'll change it the week after.
Have we got any trained NLP practitioners in the room?